don't have to. Suggestion. You can come hang out. Come on, Mama. Come on. All right, very good. Hey, everyone. How are you? Instagram looks all right. TikTok also looks okay. Is that centered? Facebook and YouTube, I think we're all right there. Also, let me know if you guys could give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you can hear me and see me all right. That would be greatly appreciated. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Let me know you can hear me and see me. We're going to go ahead and get started. We are a couple minutes behind. Thank you for being patient. And why is this not at all where it's supposed to be? Very hot. Okay, all platforms are working. Okay, very good. Can't stand it. Believe I spent an hour trying to flat iron my hair? 2 seconds. That's all it takes for this to start happening. Woo! It's hot as hell here in New York. Where are you guys tuning in from? Please let me know. Please give this video a thumbs up. I'm so glad to have you here. Quick shout out to my YouTube members. But before I do that, tonight's show is all spirit messages. This is all mediumship, all channeling, all the time. If you have a deceased loved one or pet that you would like to hear from, go ahead, drop your $10 donation and that person's first name or nickname and whatever question you have for them. You can also just say something like, I want to hear from my mother, Margaret, that's fine. The alternative for tonight's show, if you don't have anyone specific that you want to hear from or a specific question, okay, for spirit, you can just leave it open-ended and I will tell you what spirit has to say to you. All right, tonight is unlimited. So you can ask as many questions as you want or receive as many messages as you like. I can't do that every night, but I can tonight. Quick shout out to my YouTube members. Thank you so much for your continued support. I appreciate you guys. Jess, Vanessa, Tanya Newkirk, Yolanda Fisher, Kate S., Ask Wanda, Melissa S., Sarah Sotelo, Joelle Porter, June Hawthorne, Deb Basil, Annie K., Shaylee, Angie Johnson, Jennifer Cole, Jennifer Barone, Abby Hicks, Stella Marie, Kim Elizabeth, Denise Bennett, Jayla Beans, Edgar Velardes, Christine W., Miami Heat 305-ish, Shauna Dempsey, Demetris, Language Through Connection, Deanna Marie, Maraid D, Tristan Marion, Me Love 716, and Andrea M. I appreciate your continued support. And if you want to become a YouTube member, switch over to my YouTube channel at Ask Ivy the Medium. Hit the join button. It'll show you the 3 different tiers of membership options. Pick whichever one works best for you. My members receive monthly perks like an Ask Ivy exclusive show where you get my undivided attention. You get an email reading, which literally pays for the entire subscription itself. You get a monthly horoscope, a monthly mini class, and a weekly spirit message, and more. Okay, join us. Couple quick announcements while we let everyone tune in and start dropping their donations and questions. We do have the Margim Manor Ivy League Psychic Fair coming up June 28th. Pre-booking is now open. So if you want to book with myself or one of my readers from my Ivy League Psychic Academy, you can go onto my website, IvyRiveraPsychicMedium.com, to do that. Now, you could book up to 3 slots per person, or you could try your hand at a walk-in. So we hope to see you there at the hauntingly beautiful Margim Manor Winery. We also have coming up this Tuesday is going to be my relationships, boundaries, and cord cutting class. Those of you who've been following me for a while, you know I'm constantly making reference to contracts, cord cutting, why we can have obsession or be haunted by someone or something. What does this mean and how do you control it? That's what we're going to be covering in the class. Now, if you can't join us, it's at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it runs until about 9 p.m. If you can't join us online, you can't just get the video download. And if you heard about this and you're like, oh, I want it, now, I don't want to wait, it's up on the website. You can just watch the old version through video download. So registration is now open. Yes, you need to be registered, okay, to actually attend the class. And that's also just on my website. So all of this, IvyRiveraPsychicMedium.com. Now, the following Tuesday is my Karma Contracts and Past Lives class, another one I'm constantly referring to. So registration is now open for that. June 23rd. It will be 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Esmeralda Marie Rivera is joining us. Hello. You guys haven't seen too much of her lately because she's outside living her best life, okay? But it's raining. Yes, it's raining, and she loves this show. She really does. She likes hanging out with spirit. I just opened the door for her. She could go out. It's not raining right now. She doesn't want to, okay? So all the spirits are here, animals included, and she has a good time with this. What was I talking about? Anyways, any other announcements? I don't really think so, right? Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, let's get started. Again, this is all spirit messages. So you guys drop your $10 donation and whatever spirit name you want to hear from. And if you don't have anyone specific, you can just leave it open-ended. Okay, good. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk. This is my All Spirit Messages show where you drop a $10 donation and the name of whatever spirit or animal that you would like to hear from. If you don't have anyone in particular you would like to get a message from or you have a question for, you can just leave it open-ended and I will just tell you whatever spirit has to say. Tonight is unlimited. I can't do that all the time, but I can tonight. So we do have a bunch of early ones coming in here, and Diana, my beautiful producer, is back with us today. We can all send her some blessings. She did get caught in that, 7.8 earthquake. The minute Diana goes to have a vacation, okay, she ends up in that situation. So thank God she's okay. It's becoming a bit of a theme here with her, but she is back with us on vacation and in the Philippines, okay, tuning in. Now, she will be in the comment section here on Instagram and TikTok, posting the directions and taking any of your questions or payments, because Instagram and TikTok don't have a description box, nor do they allow us to pin a comment. So she's going to be handling you guys there. Okay. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. And Diana, who do we have first? First up is Melissa Subia. Melissa says, does my mom Olga and Stephen have any message? Olga and Stephen, I do have your mother here. Stephen is just sort of agreeing with her and also giving you what looks like a butterfly, reminding you to spread your wings, that this is a time for you to be free. This is a time for you to advance. This is a time for you to be creative, go off and do what you enjoy. Don't focus on the worries in life, but focus on your prosperity. Okay, so butterflies can also be symbolic of prosperity, new resources coming in. Okay, so that's all he has to say about that. He's going to step back and really let her talk. She jokingly said, like, he has a choice. Okay, I think she set the tone. I think she made that decision before today. She's coming through, giving you a big heart, talking about warming your heart and also wrapping your heart. So if you're going through a period of time right now where you're feeling like struggles are heavy, you're feeling weighted in any way, and you're feeling like you carry the weight of your world, but you can never put it down or give it to someone else, or that the people who come up and say, let me take some of that off of you, they never really do, or they make it even worse, or they take it for such a short period, and when you need them the most, they've dropped you on it. It's just a feeling of almost like frustration and getting pretty angry about the reality that you feel like you can't rely on other people, and that people don't show up for you in the same way that you have for them. She wants you to remember that you always have her. You always have spirit. You always have the universe to rely on. So it's almost like you're pulling away from humans and recognizing I've evolved beyond seeing humans as being very useful. And I am learning to trust spirit in the universe instead, and my own self, and build my confidence, my foundation, my resources, my skills. Okay. And that's what will guard my heart. That's what will make my heart fall on soft grass or soft ground, you know. And it's like you're learning how to do this. It's like you're evolving. And while you go through this evolution, she just wants you to know she's with you every step of the way. She said, I can't do it for you, but I can be with you every step of the way. Now, there's also talk of a red rose in two. So I don't know if this is going out to two people or this is two different situations. Take it out resonates. But a red rose is a birthday or an anniversary right around this time. This can also be a passing anniversary or just a deep love. Okay. So also if there is anyone in your circle, okay, there that she's keeping an eye on, kids, for example, someone there may also be having a birthday, okay, or a celebration around this time. She said that you are also keeping your cards a little bit closer to your vest these days, and you're keeping your words to yourself, almost like you're kind of keeping your mouth shut a little bit. And it's like, you know what, I'm just going to hold back a bit. I'm just going to keep to myself. And she said that that's very, it's almost like very recommended at this time. Okay. Yeah, I think that what you're supposed to be doing, and she is reminding you that you have a grandmother also coming through here. She's just reminding you that you are in a lot of feminine company that keeps you strong, but you need to ask for it more. So sometimes that's almost like I'm just going to rest for a while and I'm going to ask for them to bring me healing and fill my cup. And it really is supernatural. Okay. But it's almost like you have to ask for it in order to receive it. So keep going to her for that. She said also a dream in one. That's either going to be tonight or tomorrow, but like one day in a dream. Okay. So you'll be seeing her. A ton of love from both of them. Thank you, Olga, Stephen. And thank you, Melissa. Who do we have next? Anna Pekka. Anna Pekka is next. And this is just a general for Anna. No question? Okay. So what Spirit has a message for Anna? What is the message? This is coming from, I want to say, your relationship guide and your work and money guide, stepping in close behind. So there is some talk here of, I want to say, you being careful that you're not spending so much time on relationships. I don't think I'm talking about all types of relationships. I feel like I'm talking about the idea of romantic partnership, or I'm talking about actual romantic partners. We're talking about dating. We're talking about like casual relationships, you know, things like this. Just be careful that you're not spending so much time on relationships. In this case, that means lesser relationships. The ones that haven't been around in your life and aren't like proven to be of tremendous value. Don't spend so much time there with your thoughts and your energy and in the literal sense of spending time when you should be spending it more on your life contract, your life's work, what you're supposed to be building right now. There's a lot of pull toward creation and being able to say more of what it is that you feel you have to say to the world. Speak more through creative outlets and be seen and heard more for what it is that you have to offer the world. So we would say like your life's work, okay? A lot of your energy for the next 4 months is supposed to be going there, not there, if that makes some sense. And if you're spending more of it, meaning like 51% even, okay? If you're spending more of it where it doesn't belong, everything in regards to the work you're supposed to be doing could end up either deteriorating or stagnating out. It could feel like it's going in reverse. But what I actually heard was just like mouse on a wheel. Okay. So sort of a treading water type of energy instead of a fluidity. So these two are directly connected for the next 4 months. Okay, there must be balance, meaning more time, energy, attention spent on the work. Thank you, Anna. All right, we're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Edgar. Edgar Velardes. Could I please get guidance on how to heal from the discomfort I feel in the bladder? Okay. Doctors only want to prescribe medication for the discomfort and cannot figure out what is causing it. It's exhausting. They exhaust me. I hate the for-profit medical system. All right, let's take a look at this. So I cannot prescribe or diagnose. This is simply my interpretation and Spirit's interpretation of what's going on, okay? So when I look at the bladder, what I feel is happening is almost like an urgent response, an urgent message being sent to the brain that I am, it's almost like it's burning because I'm full, for example. And it's happened so many times that the brain is now starting to almost like fire on its own. So the messaging system feels activated when it doesn't necessarily need to be. So it's almost like a preemptive urgency, you know, and essentially what you're doing is trying to retrain the bladder to understand when it's actually full, okay, when it's just triggering false messaging. This is going to require that you are retraining your bladder. Is a medication going to fix that? No, I can't prescribe or diagnose. I mean, you have your free will. Obviously, you've chosen to say no to the medication, but I'm telling you, like, the medication isn't going to come in and retrain your brain. The medication isn't going to come in and fix what has become series of habits, okay, that need to be reconstructed. So what you may want to do is go into YouTube, for example, and search bladder control, retraining the brain, urgency, things like this, okay, and learn how to control it better, because it isn't all real anymore, okay? It's a lot of like ghost energy, and a lot of it is mental. Some of it is literally your bladder having gotten into a practice of either being too full for too long or not full enough for too long, and you going too soon. Whatever it is, you're going to be able to find more answers there than just like take this pill. Okay. I do think that it's also important for you to, I'm hearing, deal with your anxiety surrounding it. So, and this is coming more from your guardian angel who watches over your mental and emotional well-being, and your joy guide who watches over your mental and emotional well-being. So there are some psychological issues that could be dealt with therapeutically to help you with this as well. And so you may want to speak to someone, okay, in that domain on top of this. But it's doable, it's retrainable, it's treatable. But I agree with you. It's not through just like popping a pill and we don't even know why. Okay. All right. They're also sending you some healing, but this is something you're supposed to learn how to do. Okay. So it's not just going to be like an immediate fix or a miraculous, kind of healing, like, oh, it's all gone. Thank you, Edgar. We're going to move on to another one. You're going to take a seat there, Mama. You going to join us? She's on the old lady rocking chair over here. Snug as a bug in a rug. Okay, who do we have next? Next up is Carrie Watson. Carrie Watson wants to know, I would love a message from David M. David M, if he's available. Thank you. Okay, David, for Carrie, what do you want to say? I don't know if this is romantic, but, he's mentioning a ring and like your relationship finger, and I want to say almost like bringing some healing to you in that area also. He is giving a red rose, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be a passing anniversary or just a deep love. Take it out, resonates. He said he's calling you on the phone, and something about 3 days. So I would say the third day out from now, expect a lot of ringing in your ears. So this is called clairaudience, where you get the tinnitus, okay, the feeling of pressure, like he's calling you on the phone. He's ringing your ears. He'll be putting songs in your head, words in your head, okay, talking to you literally directly through clairaudience. That day and that night, he said, that day and that night. So 3 days out from now, activation of your left ear, the mediumship ear, clairaudience, and then visiting you in a dream, Said you're haunted by his grave. This is almost symbolic of like being haunted by his passing, or a lot of memories of it around this time. Memories of the two of you together around this time of year also are like almost like triggering. You don't even remember them, like you don't have them on a calendar, but your brain remembers. This time of year, okay, would have been a significant amount of time the two of you would have spent together. He said you're thinking of venturing out and doing something new. It's almost like, I want to get out into the world. I want to start living in a different way. I want to have a different routine. I want to be dealing with different types of people. This is a time for you to grow. He said that right now you're coming through as almost like the grasshopper. He's setting you, these aren't grasshoppers though. What is that? Praying mantis? Also be watching for him in the praying mantis. I feel like they're funny. They're like looking at you, like they're staring at you. I don't care if these are online or these happen literally, okay? But it's like he's sending you these creepy praying mantises. I keep seeing the meme of the one with who's got like a martini and she's got like red lipstick on and the high heels. Okay. But he said that you're learning a lot right now. Okay. You're in a grasshopper phase. And so your life is showing you a lot right now about who you are and how your manifestations are coming to be, who you want to become. Okay, the work that's going to be required to really make that happen, or to get from like A to B. Okay, what is required? And he said he's helping you. He's helping you with that. I also feel like there's a friendship here between the two of you. It feels very supportive. And like you may be looking out at your friends right now and being like, I can't really replace that, or I wish I kind of had that. You know, you may be wishing that you could find what you had, the two of you and David, with other people, and you're not really finding it. Okay. He also comes through as like loving and supportive and protective over you. So he almost carries like protective dad vibes. Okay. As well. He said, if you're thinking of making some moves right now, don't be afraid. So it's like, I'm looking at, granted, this is chess, not checkers, granted, but it's almost like bam, 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 knock them out, win the game. Okay, take the winnings is how this feels. So when it's meant for you, it's meant for you. When it's meant for you, you can take these types of risks, okay, and be guaranteed to pay out when it's meant for you and when you make the moves in the right time. So it's divine timing and it's destined. Okay, whatever you want to change right now, you can have it. Wow. Okay, anything else? Song on the radio, song on the radio, radio. He's manipulating your radio in a very literal way. Could this be songs popping in your head? Sure, of course, but like literally in the car, he's manipulating your radio to send you songs. Okay. And I would say on your playlist, okay, in general here for a while. So be watching for him there. He just wants you to know he loves you. Okay. He said this was fun. This was fun. I don't know. I don't know if this is his first time. I feel like he's kind of a frequent flyer, but he thinks this is fun. Okay. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, David. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? CJG is next. CJG, general message. What message is coming through? What spirit is coming through for CJG? It's like you have a crown of thorns. I saw all of these thorns around your heart. This is coming from your joy guide. This is coming from, I want to say, your protector guide as well. And it feels like a little bit from your guardian angel who watches over your mental and emotional well-being. So, you know, there is talk here of having all these thorns around your heart, but it's like you try to wear it like you're a badass. They say you try to wear it like it's like a leather jacket with, you know, like silver spikes coming out of it, you know, and it's like, no, this looks cool. It's fine. I did this purposely, you know, I'm just being edgy. And then it's like, well, then take it off. You're just playing, take it off. And you're like, I can't actually. Okay. And it's like, oh, so this isn't fun and games. This is about protection. This is about feeling trapped in it. I can't let go. I can't be free. I can't be exposed. I can't be vulnerable. I can't release. I can't go forward. I'm hearing the Jerry Garcia song, The Wheel, right? The wheel never stops. You can't let go. You can't hold on. You know, it's almost like I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. Like nothing will slow down. I think that the way this shifted from looking like, you know, leather and spikes all around to a crown of thorns, which is symbolic of Christ energy. This is about you having given love, maybe unrequited love, or maybe, is that the word I'm looking for? Unrelieved. I'm not relieved. Maybe you gave it and you thought, maybe not from this person, or maybe not from these people, or maybe not at this time, but you thought you would get it back from the universe, right? From others at some point, and you didn't. And you're like, that's not good. You know, what does this mean? If I gave and I gave and I gave, and I centered others, and maybe at times I overreached, maybe at times you enabled, you know, and you find now that only brought you negative karmic kickback. Okay, that only brought you consequences because you weren't supposed to be doing that. You feel as though in some ways you came up empty-handed, and now it's almost like a deer in the headlights. It's like, I'm freezing. I don't know how to move forward. They're just saying it's okay. It's okay. It's a good place to be. Everybody gets here at some point. The smart ones, anyways. Everybody gets here at some point. And so what you're supposed to be doing now is allowing yourself to feel what you feel, allowing yourself to have righteous anger, if that's what's coming up and out, and allowing yourself to realize that some of that Christ energy, that healing energy, needs to be focused on you at all times, right? That energy should be focused like 90% on you, 93% on you. Shit, some days 98% on you. I had a day like that today. I was over to everyone and everything. I don't care. Don't bother me. No, not because I didn't have the energy, but because I want to conserve my energy. I want to feel good right now. I don't want to find that later in the day I'm going to be stripped. So 98% of my energy today is going to me. I'm not even giving 10% to others, not even. So you're going to have to learn that it's more about you and less about who and what is out here. And naturally, these thorns will start to fall off. Okay. And you'll be able to feel in the flow again. Because it's like you want to play, you want to be in the flow again. And you're starting to get frustrated, maybe even aggressive, maybe even irritable. That's how humans get when they're not in the flow. But the flow is coming. Okay. As long as you focus more on you. So this is a life lesson and something you'll have to apply going forward. And this is just a good collective message for everyone. 90% of your energy should be going to you. And I see a lot of people putting certainly less than 40, on themselves. So very interesting. All right. Thank you, CJG. And they're also just closing on this message. Whatever you feel like you weren't going to get back, just know you will be getting some of it back. Okay. Maybe not all of it, but enough. And in the ways that you want, you will be getting it back. Okay. Nothing was wasted. All right. Thank you. We're going to move on. Who do we have next? Next up is Deanna Marie. Deanna Marie says a general message. Okay. General message for Deanna Marie. Who is coming through for Deanna? Deanna. You got a gentleman coming through who may have had heart-related issues before his passing. He's pretty tall. I don't know if I want to say slender, but he's one of these well-built people. It's like just kind of muscular. And God damn, all of a sudden I'm heating up and my jaw was popping. So if you are going through something, okay, and I keep getting a D sound, okay, in his name also. If you're going through something in the next couple weeks that irritates you, that heats you up, that makes you, he said flamboyant. It's almost like flammable. Okay. But I think that if something is triggering you, let's say, and you're feeling like I want to lash out or I want to have a reaction, you may need to buckle down a little bit and get proactive. And there's also talk of a birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be passing anniversary. He jumps from thing to thing. Okay, so just bear with me here. I'm just along for the ride. But there's talk of, and this could be work related. This could also be in a relationship that you have an intimate connection. Okay, this feels like a male, but it feels like, we're closely connected. So when I see it happening in two different areas simultaneously, that's a sign that this is karmic. So this is a karmic lesson for you. This is an opportunity for you to grow, to learn something, to increase your skills in some way. Now, what may be happening is that a situation, a person, okay, is stressing you out. And normally in the past, you would have bit your tongue, or you would have just started looking for alternatives. Like, well, I'm going to get ready to exit this situation, you know, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to rock the boat. And then you procrastinated and you didn't. You didn't. So not only did you not address it, you didn't change anything, and circumstances repeat. Now, here's where you start to get pissed at your own self. Because when something is victimizing us, or it feels like we're being victimized, okay, and we're unhappy with it, yet we're not doing anything to change it, we start to internalize aggression toward, you know, ourself. We are getting mad and angry because we're not caretaking over ourselves. There's a resentment there, building, brewing. Now, normally that's going to come out onto other people. You're going to lash out at other people. You're going to turn into a Karen. You're going to get nasty in some way. I don't really feel like you do that as much as you get heavy, depressive, burn out, and this jaw-clenching stress. So what needs to happen here over the next couple weeks is that you stop, you reverse, you return the energy. So someone is disrespecting or disregarding you, a situation, a person arises that you feel is not up to your standards. This time we face it. This time we address it head on. This time we change the storyline. Okay? And that's it. And it has to be done. It has to be done. Okay. He loves you very much. Thank you, Deanna. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have coming in next? You guys, this is unlimited. So you can drop as many donations, ask as many questions as you want, or you can just leave it open-ended and receive if you don't have someone specific you want to hear from. So this could be your angels, your guides, your ancestors, your deceased pets, your deceased loved ones. And I forgot to ask everyone to please give this video a thumbs up. And I forgot to ask the last couple shows. So if everyone could really collectively right now, give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. And if you are here on YouTube, please hit the hype button. It really does help me out a lot. Drop a comment letting me know where you're tuning in from. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. All right, we're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Mackenzie. Mackenzie Mooser asks, most important spirit message for me right now. Okay. So just a general for Mackenzie, who's here, and what do you have to say to her? I just heard focus on you and clean up your mouth and put some red lipstick on. Okay. This is coming from your guides, okay? Like all your guides. So you've got 5. They watch over your money, your relationships, your mental and emotional well-being, okay? Your spiritual development, all these things. So they're saying, focus on yourself. And it's almost like watch your mouth and put on some red lipstick. So self-focus is speaking for itself. That's about not giving too much of your time, attention, energy to other people that kind of have nothing to do with your storyline. Like they don't matter. This is a big wake-up call. This is always disturbing because when you're in a spot in your life where you're putting a lot of focus on certain types of people or relationships, to, in hindsight, right, years down the road, when you look back, you're like, what a waste. What the hell was I thinking? What was I doing? This wasn't important at all. That's all just like wasted time, or that's a loss. Or I could have been focusing on my career more. I could have been focusing on my health or mental health. I could have been doing spiritual development. I could have been traveling. I could have been working on friendships or community. I could have been writing a book. I could have been doing this or or this or this. And you look back. But the reality is, at the time, you weren't ready for that. You were ready to do a lot of treading water with people that weren't going to be a big part of your storyline. Okay? That's what you chose to do. That's what you wanted to do at the time. And so it's almost like right now, what they're doing is waking you up and shaking you up and reminding you that some of the people, relationships, things you're focusing on in regards to relationships with others, they're not going to be important to you in the future. It's not relevant. These are not big players in your life. These are not, there is a time, there is a season. I always say, if it's a contracted relationship, and only if it's a contracted relationship, should it be getting that much of your time. But when they aren't, they shouldn't be getting any of your time. Okay. So Spirit doesn't want you to figure out the hard way that you're spending a lot where you should not be spending any at all. And they're reminding you to self-focus. Now, the second part of this message, watch your mouth, watch your words. It actually looked like your lips were getting sealed and there was like a key or a lock. You know how a lot of purses have that latch? You just turn it. Okay. It's more like a turn. What does that mean? What do you mean? Stop talking. I mean, basically, I guess that one speaks for itself a bit as well. Why am I struggling with it then? Okay. If anyone is disrespected, this is about respect. If anyone has disrespected you in any way and you're not shutting your mouth to them like a lock on a door, if you're giving them energy or words or fighting or, okay, that door is open and you're disrespecting yourself now. And the universe doesn't take that very lightly. There are penalties for that. You're not allowed to disrespect yourself. You have a responsibility here on earth to grow and to protect yourself. So, okay, be careful. The red lipstick is symbolic of power in your words. So know how powerful your words are right now. Wearing the red lipstick is symbolic of your throat chakra and being in control of it. So it's not just what I say, it's what I don't say. It's how I dress. It's what I think about. It's what I won't feed energetically, verbally, right? In any way, shape, or form, emotionally. Okay? So power in your words right now. Put your red lipstick on. All right. Thank you, Mackenzie. We're going to move on to another one. Who is next? Camilla Carnes. Camilla Carnes, general message. What spirit is here for Camilla Carnes? And what do you want to say to her? Camilla Carnes. How much further do we have to go? Okay. It's like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? I'm uncomfortable with this. Are we there yet? And then it's like, no, I'm getting angry. Can we freaking get there already? You know, so you may be going through a shifting of moods. You have recently entered into the forest, which symbolizes, and I would say in the last 2 to 3 weeks, which symbolizes, although there's talk 3 to 4 months. So you've been sort of approaching it. Maybe you were approaching it 3 to 4 months ago and you're like, uh-oh, there's the forest. You know, no one wants to have to head in there. And like in the last 2 to 3 weeks or so, you've kind of headed in. Okay. I keep seeing the Hunger Games. I don't know how familiar you are with this. I just actually watched them really for not the first time, but I saw the first one a while ago, a little bit, and I just bought them all. I don't know how this is relevant. I'm just gonna let this unfold. Okay. Bear with me. It's almost like when Katniss went looking for the berries. It's like you have entered into the forest, which signifies a period of time in your life where you don't know where you're going. You don't know which direction to take. You're not sure whether or not you are headed in the right direction because you can't see through the forest. but there are indicators. Spirit says, what side of a rock is the moss growing on? How are the birds singing? And at some point you entered in and you were like, let's just haul ass through this thing. Let's just keep going. Let's just march on, right? Let's be soldiers. And now you're realizing I'm in this for the long haul. This is not going to be overnight. I may as well stop and get berries. I may as well light a fire. You know, it's like I'm going to need to sort of breathe through this process. And what they're talking about here is you learning a lot about yourself right now, your stamina, your ability to be resourceful, your ability to be more balanced than what you thought you were capable of in your life, your ability to set boundaries with people and situations and things that you simply don't have room for, okay? The capacity, like it's not happening. You're getting smarter, you're getting wiser, and you're growing through this process. So don't try to rush through it. It's a period of time in your life where you're going from an old way of life into a new way of life. And that never happens overnight, but it is truly, I'm hearing the shedding of your old skin. So you could be looking at a lot right now. I'm talking potentially, I'm saying this could be like everything from residency change to relationship change to career change. Okay, just a lot of growth and development. And don't be surprised or try to rush through if you're feeling sometimes a little bit foggy, a little bit lost, a little bit like I'm in the forest. Okay, it's not that bad in there. You may reach a point where you don't want to come out. Okay. Thank you, Camilla. And that was coming, I want to say, from your guides, your loved ones, your ancestors, like a collective message for you. We are going to move on. Who do we have next? Next up is Deanna said, thank you, Ivy. You're welcome, Deanna. Thank you for being here. CJG is giving some feedback as well. Beautiful message, Ivy. I'm in my healing stage and I'm trying my best to block everything that's not a lot aligned. It is a tough process. Absolutely, CJG. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I want to say that's really tough too. I'm getting this for a couple of you that this may be the first time you've ever done this. So whenever you're doing something like that for the first time, it can feel really exhausting and frustrating and empty. And then you get the hang of it. And it's like every new level, you're doing it again, but you're like, yeah, I know what this is, whatever, it's not a big deal. But for some of you, this does feels like that's a good way to say it. I would say the collective message tonight that I'm really noticing is that like a lot of people are having a first something. Okay, you're in your first phase, your first steps of something that are lifelong mastery skills and tools. But the first one's always hard. All right, let's move on. What else do we have? Chica, Deb Basil, general reading. Okay, so for Deb Basil, general reading. Who's here for Deb and what do you want to say? You have a gentleman coming through, feels like paternal energy, may have had like salt and pepper hair, may have actually had quite a lot of hair, or like it was dark, when he was younger. He's talking about being very directive. He's very directive with you. He was very directive in life, but he had a tendency to hold back a lot. So you wouldn't really know that about him. He may have tried to come off as someone who was sort of compliant. He may have tried to come off as like a team player, or like, I don't want to rock the boat, or like, I'm not going to mess with this, or I don't want to be bothered with any kind of drama. But it's almost like if you got me going, if you crossed the line, if you stepped on my toe, he's using this image of someone coming up to the door. If someone came up to your house and said something disrespectful, and you went to go close the door in their face, and they put their shoe in the door, they put their foot in the door, their boot in the door. He said, I'm going to break your leg. Like, I'm going to like attack. Okay. So anyways, I feel like you're like him and he gets the kick out of it, which can mean you've been getting like a little riled. Maybe life's been disrespecting you and coming in your house. Okay. Like you disrespect me on the street, I may act one way. You disrespect me in my house, you're going down. It's like this type of energy, maybe hitting a little too close to home. Okay. So you seem to be getting rattled or upset, and you're going from being passive, or I'm holding space, or I hope this changes, or I'm praying for better, or I'm manifesting better, to like, let me handle this now. Let me take control of this situation. We're going to get this done now. This is dealt with today. This is dealt with immediately. There will not be, okay, another moment of this nonsense. So this is a time where you need to be taking the bull by the horns, he says, okay? And it's not necessarily about being reactionary or fighting with people or anything. It's about going after what you actually want to have and almost forcing it into submission, or taking it, grabbing it, getting it, okay? Unapologetically throwing some elbows if need be. But I feel like you're done waiting. You're done in the waiting place. I'm seeing Dr. Seuss, The Waiting Place, in the middle of that book. It took up 2 pages, and it was like everyone looked like a zombie. You know, their eyes were gone. They weren't really in their bodies. And Dr. Seuss said to the kid in the book, the kid said, "This is creepy. What is this?" And he said, "This is the waiting place. Everyone ends up here from time to time, but this is not a place where you're supposed to stay. This is not a place for you. You know, make sure you keep going. It's like you're ready to come out of it." And it may take a little fire in the belly, fire lit under your rear end, which is part of where he comes in. Okay, pushing you, instigating. And I feel good about this. I also feel like the next 2 weeks, okay, are going to bring some breakthroughs in general, but also in this area. So yeah, just know he's with you. Okay. And you guys really are 2 peas in a pod. I feel like you literally get this from him. So a nice balance would be nice, okay, between being too passive and being too ready to fight, something in between. It feels like you're finding your footing, you're finding your balance. God bless you. God bless you. She's sneezing out the devil, okay, which can also mean if you're having any paranormal problems, make sure you're cleaning them up, especially if you've noticed like more activity between 3 to 5:30 in the morning, anything weird happening, any feeling of like paranormal problems, because maybe you spent a period of time of depression or healing, aggression, unfortunate grief, you know, loss within the house, okay, especially by like a chair. It feels like I'm in the living room and like around a chair where it feels like there would be a sofa over here. Okay, so just know. Thank you, Deb. And we are going to move on. Who do we have next? Shauna Dempsey. Shauna Dempsey, general reading. Okay. What spirit is here for Shauna, and what do you have to say to her? Your money, your money, your money, your money, your money. What are you doing with your money, honey? What do you do with your money? Well, certainly coming in. I mean, I don't know if you get the feeling that it's coming in and it's going out, and that can be frustrating. So it's like, yeah, it looks real good coming in, but I have all this over here that needs to be paid for. I think it's the end of this cycle is part of what's happening. So if you're doing anything with, I want to say, consolidation, or you're debating in the upcoming 2 months on unloading something, so you're not sinking as much, okay, into it. It feels like you're getting your wings. It looks like the emoji on my iPhone where you got the stack of cash, and then you've got the stack of cash with the angel wings. It looks like you're going from stack of cash to stack of cash with the angel wings, which is symbolic of higher prosperity, universal support, excessive abundance. Your cup runneth over. You become the lender, never the borrower. Healing, healing, healing. Okay, so healing through resources, but in particular money. And this is a big breakthrough for you, because if there are other things you wanted to do, in particular with like real estate, You know, any changes to the residency at all. This could also be workspace, changing up your workspace or changing up what you're doing for work. Anything you've been wanting to do though, okay, and invest in more. This is freedom to do that. So I want to say the next like 3 months for you, or like in particular in the 3rd month out from now, we could be seeing the stacked cash going from, you know, looking good to literally having these wings. This is a very big deal. Okay. This feels like a collective message, but mostly I'm getting your work and money guide here. Okay. Also your protector guide a little bit. So protect it. Oh, is that why you were asking? What are you doing with your money, honey? What's happening with your money, honey? What are you doing with it? Protect it. From who is that? 5 to 7 months, 5 to 7, 9 months, in the 9th month out, protect it. Okay. And weeks, take that as weeks as well, just in case, but just make sure, you know, you're not wasting it. Make sure you're not getting in any bad business deals. Dot your I's, cross your T's, and make sure that when you're dealing with shared income, shared resources in any capacity, okay, with others, you have the master keys. Okay. Good, good. Thank you, Shauna. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Bree Morath. Bree Morath. Just a general for Bree. Okay. What spirits are coming through for Bree, and what do you have to say? Let's say that you have a lady coming through who's kind of a bossy energy. She said that you've been examining a situation and it's almost like too much. I'm examining it too many times. I'm putting on my glasses. I'm looking, you know, I'm analyzing. I'm hoping I see something different, but I'm actually seeing the same thing. So I take my glasses off. I take a break. And then 30 minutes later, I'm like, put them back on. Let's see, did it change? Did it move? You know, you could be doing this also with your phone, or you could be like looking at something in the literal sense, hoping to see movement or fluidity or action, right? Change. But it's almost like I'm not seeing anything, and it's not registering to me that means I need to take a break from this. I need to like go settle down and go do something else. I don't know too if you've been walking a lot, working out a lot, extra cardio, okay, gym membership, whatever, new health stuff. There's a lot of encouragement there. Kudos, okay, and encouragement. I have to fix this puzzle on TikTok, so I'm just going to keep talking. There's also a gentleman coming through. I so rarely get it the first time because apparently I'm a monkey. So there's also a gentleman coming through who is like keeping an eye on you in a brotherly protective way. Okay. But let's just say like, you know, brother, uncle type energy, but it feels more paternal. Light eyes, brown hair, big hands, would have been real funny. Always had a joke. I guess I could call it intellectual humor, but it's like a practice. These are practice jokes, you know, it hits a little different. But he thinks he's hilarious, and he didn't care if no one laughed. He was just trying to enjoy himself. This guy didn't give a shit about anything. I like him a lot, actually. He's talking about you being stressed, like picking up a cigarette. Now, I'm not saying you are vaping or smoking, but anything you've been doing that is unhealthy for stress coping mechanisms, you know, anything that is escapist, avoidant, how do I say this? Habitual. Make sure, especially in regards to like dating or relationships or heavily focusing on someone else, make sure you're pulling out of that. Okay. And start finding better ways to process your energy, all kinds of energy. There's also talk of you like writing a book or teaching, or like you have a lot to say and you're holding it in. So there's talk here of like you being very special, you being very powerful, you being a leader and trying to act like you're a normie. Okay. So that really needs to end. It's really time for you to start giving out what you know. Okay. And it'll help you to grow as well. Thank you, Bree. That one went a little all over the place. I never know what's going to come up. Who's going to show up? Okay. It is what it is. Thank you, Bree. We're going to move on. Who do we have next? Elvin Ramos. Elvin Ramos, so many general messages tonight. Now, sometimes when this is happening, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in a row, it's because you guys don't understand what you're allowed to do in the show. So let me give a quick rundown. In this show, this is all spirit messages. So you can drop a $10 donation and the name of the spirit that you would like to hear from. This includes deceased loved ones, pets, ancestors, angels, guides, literally anything goes. And if you have a specific question for that spirit, you can drop their name and the question. If not, you could just get a general message and I'll just tell you whatever spirit's coming through and what they have to say. Okay. Elvin Ramos, general reading for Elvin Ramos. Who is here for Elvin? You have 2 ladies coming through, one who's a bit taller, one who's a bit shorter. The shorter one has, I think I'm saying this right, black hair. The taller, thinner one, I don't really know if she's tall. I just think she's thinner, and this one's like super petite. When you put them next to each other, she looks tall. I don't think she was tall. Okay, I think we're talking maybe 5'4" at best. This one maybe 5'2", maybe barely 5 foot. I don't know. I'm very short. So I've got one with black hair, one with brown hair. And there's talk here of you being in a place in your life where it's like your rose has bloomed. So they're giving you this red rose, but it almost looks like an American rose almost, or what are they called? Gardenias or something. I don't know. You know, they open wide, not up. They open wide. And you're concerned that your rose has bloomed. It's red, which is like love, romantic love. This can also be self-love, okay? But you fear, they said. You fear. You've peaked. Whether this is you peaking in regards to the romantic partners you've had, you peaking in regards to the amount of love that you have for like your children or other humans, okay? You peaking in regards to the amount of love that you have for yourself and feeling loss in that, feeling disappointment in that, feeling like, look, the bottom line is this. No one likes to feel like something has peaked. And you're looking at it and you're like, is this it? Are you joking? This can't be right. This isn't, the math isn't mathing. There has to be something more to this. I feel like what they're trying to say here is that there is more, but it isn't where you think it is. So it isn't in the love partners. You're not going to find it there. If you feel like you've been cheated, you've been wronged, you've been had, you're not going to find it there because you were overreaching. And the only thing you get back for that is penalty. You don't get blessings for that. You don't get blessings for enabling someone else or overreaching or, okay, extending yourself, martyrdom, victim. You don't get payback for that. The universe isn't punishing you, but you aren't receiving blessings for that. Okay. You just get what you get. And it's a lot of heartache. It's a lot of pain. And it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So you could be feeling a bit resentful. That's the second time that word came up tonight. Resentment. Resentment. It came up for somebody else. So we've got a collective message brewing. Who's feeling resentment? Like, screw this or that didn't work. Da, 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 I'm resentful. You're getting resentful. People, you're getting resentful. You need to own your part in things and you need to alchemize that. That's how we get out of resentment. So where they're saying the love is, Okay. And what is still unfinished? You're like, is there more? There's got to be more. Yeah, there is more, but it's not, again, where you thought it always would be. It's in you. It's in self-love. You've taken it as far as you can in regards to children or parents or cousins or family or friends. You've taken it, okay, in the wrong direction in regards to romantic partners. You have overreached. You have over-sacrificed. You have come from a place of ego, fear, manipulation, and control. But you haven't done anything with the self-love. So your rose is blooming. Okay? This is you. Like, you are the rose. Okay? And it's just begun. So there is a lot there. No, you're right. You know, it does feel empty or cheated or like you got the short end of the stick, but it's because you're looking in the wrong place. You're looking in the wrong place. Okay? And as you do the self-love, which is an inside job, right? That's a choice you make. As you do the self-love and fulfillment and discovery, the other areas will eventually start flowing again. Because right now they're looking like a desert, a little bit. Maybe not the family thing, definitely the love thing. And it just isn't, it's not enough. You're saying it's not enough. I don't know. Something's missing. It's not enough. You're missing. You're the component that's missing. You're right. Something is missing. Okay. So turn your attention onto you, but they love you and they're guiding you through this. And they're pretty funny. They do a lot of it with humor and like they're smart asses. All right. Thank you, Elvin. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Josie C6772 is next. Josie says, choking on my water, I'm drowning myself here. When they say you could drown in a tablespoon, I fully believe that could happen. I regularly almost choke to death on water. I never met my grandmother Josephine, who I was named after. Aw, she passed before I was born. I am 50 years old now. Okay. What would she like to say to me? Aw. All right. So we've got Josie. Okay. So Josephine. Huh. She said, you're very much alike. You're very much alike. She comes through here. She's a very stoic woman. She's very sophisticated, calm, cool, collected. She had a temper on her and a tongue that could cut like a knife when it needed to. I feel like you're exactly like her. But she didn't pull it out too often. She didn't have to. She said, luckily, I didn't have to. But it's good to know you can and that it's effective. And she's proud of you. She said that you've done a lot, especially in the last like 3 to 5 years. She's been keeping a close eye on you through that transition you just went through and how you did detox. You were willing to let go of some things. You were willing to think outside the box. You were willing to deprogram and reprogram and like navigate. And now you're going into more strategy. Okay. Strategy about the life you want to build. You seem to have goals the next 2 years, 4 years. So I don't know why your timelines on your goals are like 2 years out. I want this, 4 years out. I want this. Most people are like 5 years and 10 years, but whatever. Bite-sized pieces, like eating an elephant. Okay. So she said, like, you're going to get there. You're going to get there. You're going to have everything you want. But she also wants you to know there's another grandmother coming in and that they're both wrapping you in quilts. These look like patchwork quilts. Okay. Normally when I see a quilt, I'll say like, oh, you know, this is my symbol. It could also be knitting. It could be crocheting. Okay. Could be. But I don't feel that here. Now watch, I'm probably wrong, but like, I don't feel that here. These look like quilts in every way, shape, and form. The type of quilts that tell a story, the type of quilts that come in patchwork from important pieces of clothing, right? Or the squares are shaped in such a way where it's like, this is a sun and this is a tulip and this is a mountain and this is an eagle and this is a story. These are stories. She's also talking about monarch butterflies and blue butterflies with you, sending these, and numbers, 3, 3, 3. The Trinity, you are in alignment. You are currently in alignment I don't know if you had to tell someone, a male, like, here's a boundary line. Don't cross this with me. Okay. Or maybe several people who were trying to get authority or control or drain you. You set the boundary line. Now you're evolving. Okay. So you've got the number 3 following you around is you being in alignment with your life contract. You being in alignment also with spirit, knowing spirit like lives in you. Okay. And the universe, your third eye, your higher mind. And this quilt is wrapping you in protection. This quilt is wrapping you in the roots from which you came. This quilt is reminding you of who you are. It's giving you strength. There are so many nights, so many days, especially if you feel like defeated at work or whatever. Like I'm sitting here and I'm just like deflating. I'm like a deflating balloon. They come and they wrap you in this quilt. Okay. There was also talk here of you making your own quilt now. It's almost like you're telling your own story. You're becoming more of a leader, a trainer, a teacher, an educator, right? A healer. Like you're entering into a period where you're ready to give that out to others, and you're creating your own sort of quilt, your own storyline. Don't get too consumed with other people who are maybe like family members, or whether they're like kids, or they're just like, you know, people in your community. Like, just be careful that you just remember this, okay? Remember that no one is an extension of you. So you shouldn't be giving too much attention out to others, okay? The majority should be going back onto you. There's a little caution there about that. And she is talking about what feels like a tree. So it's almost like I'm discovering this other grandmother has been communicating with me in spirit as well, right? In the next like 5 weeks, a lot more communication there, mediumship. But there's also talk of a tree that looks like a genealogical DNA testing app, some kind of, I don't know what I'm looking at here. Family tree. Okay. But it's about it's almost like the ethnicity, or, so if you've been thinking of looking more heavily into your roots, make sure you do that. And if you were thinking of planning a trip to go there, okay, to get more in touch with like the culture, your roots, your people, I think that's really important, including spiritually. Spiritually, it's where your home is, okay? She's very proud of you. She's also leaving you pennies from heaven. Pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, tokens, okay? You guys look the same. If you put a black and white photo like side by side, you guys reach, when you reach a certain age, you look the same. I want to say 30, 35. Interesting. Thank you. And she loves your name. She's like, I love your name. Okay, thank you. Josie and Josephine. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Very cute. Deborah Rose said, you said we feel resentment. I did. And then she said, I actually said it today. I owned that. And I called out sick. And I went to lunch and I tried to alchemize. Okay, that's amazing. Holy shit. Well, it's a collective vibe. I mean, if I'm picking up on it from so many people and the word itself keeps coming out, it must be a purging that a lot of people who are ready, only the ones who are ready to move past it. And that is a huge thing. Maybe I should do a church service on it. You guys let me know in the comment section if you want to see me do a Roots Revival service, a free, service on resentment, where it comes from, what it means, what it does to you, how to let it go, etc., etc., etc. I could do like a 10-part, like 10 points or something. Let me know. Yeah, I feel like it's time. All right. Thank you for that, Deb. And I'm so happy you went out to lunch. You called for whatever mental health day. You know what I mean? We need to be doing more of this, because that's also part of the reason resentment builds, is because we live, especially here in America, we live in such a dog eat dog, nonstop capitalistic culture that we're not allowed to have time to heal and time to think and time to process. And it's entirely unnatural. And all types of things, not just resentment, but all types of things just build and build and build and build in our lives, because where's the time? Where's the time to process? Just work. Just feed the machine. Good for you for leaving work. All right. Let's move on to another one. Okay. Ayana, did I see it? And I didn't write it. I did see it. Ayana says, how would it go if I decided to do my first TikTok live offering readings tomorrow or Saturday? And is there anything blocking my business growth right now? Okay, tomorrow or Saturday live. Is there anything blocking? Well, let's see how this would go. I'm hearing it depends. So it depends on whether or not you're giving it for free. Okay. Or you're charging like donation based. So it's like 2, 5, 10, 2. I don't know why I mean 2. Okay. That's awfully random, but like awfully specific rather. I think that if you were to do it, and this is coming from your Work and Money guide, it would depend upon how much people were willing to invest, and you would have to be on a little while for people to see that it's worth the investment. Okay, so be realistic about that. I think you would have a lot of fun with it, and I think you would feel high vibrational energy. So it's like, woo, woo, you know, I'm really feeling like this is rejuvenating me, and I'm vibing with this. And they seem to be vibing with you. So I feel good about it. Is there anything blocking? I'm trying to see for you if there's a better time to do it. Isn't tomorrow Saturday? What the hell? Friday or Saturday? I want to say if you were to do it Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, that could work well for you, or 9 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know where you are. Okay. But like that could work well for you. And then Saturday, I feel like 3 p.m. Eastern time or like midnight. Interesting. Midnight to 1 a.m. Eastern time. I'm just saying Eastern. That's my time. I understand that time. Okay. Those would be the good times. I don't know why Friday feels better. Maybe the people that show up are a little bit more engaging and supportive and willing to like post or talk. You know, sometimes you just get all these bots, and like I've only done one TikTok live ever where I actually was just like unscripted. I wasn't doing this, and there were a lot of weirdos, and I'm seeing this for you. There were a lot of like men saying weird stuff, not even comprehensive stuff. And I was like, these are bots. What am I supposed to do with all these bots? Okay. So like you want to have more of the comment section being live people that may hit better for you in some ways on Friday. Also, more people wanting to talk to you or engage with you. So like talking directly to you. Okay. But Saturday in other ways may be busier. So blocking, what is blocking her? Is anything blocking her? Not really. What is that? Just your decisions to move forward and then you go back is blocking you. Okay. So you could say that you're blocking you when you say to the universe, I'm going to do something, or I want something, or I'm ready to start actively working toward this manifestation. And I'm choking. And then you don't do it. Double-mindedness, procrastination, something got in the way, whatever. Okay. Perfectionism, whatever. And it closes your throat chakra. So that could be an issue, but that's a choice. Okay. Thank you, Ayana. Good luck. We're going to move on to another one. Moving on to Maraid. Maraid is next. Maraid says, hi, Ivy. What message does Spirit have for me tonight? Okay. Maraid, general message from Spirit. Something you've done recently has helped you to de-stress, decompress, resolve issues. Gone, washed away. Fluidity, coming in, the sun coming out, off on my sailboat, off to better seas. I don't even care what's ahead. I'm just ready to go. It's like you've set sail. This is interesting because when I started your reading, I started to clench up. My jaw started to clench up and then it released. Now, that doesn't happen on its own. Okay. That's something I have to like manually, like, that doesn't just happen. Once it starts, like a migraine, it's going to go all the way through. You're going to go through it. Okay. This is symbolic. And I'm getting this from your guides, in particular, your protection guide, leading this message. This is symbolic of you having been allowing stress, maybe even causing stress, entertaining things that were stressing you out, and having made a clear decision that you are in a mature, masterful way, ready to maintain. It's not enough to entertain something. You have to maintain something. So you have, in the last 3 weeks, grown up into a person who is capable of some kind of wizardry over here. It's almost like I'm seeing the Harry Potter wand and, you know, it's like poof, you disappear and poof, this is now a frog and, you know, poof. You know, now you've got spiders crawling all over you. It's like you have finally taken ownership of where your attention goes. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you do it, you can't undo it. You know, once you feel it, you can't go back. Once you hit that high vibration, you can't reduce yourself to someone who's out of control and just reactionary and just spitting and sputtering energy all over the place. Wherever the wind blows, I go. You can't go back there once you've hit that note, okay, of ownership. And it's really being centered. And this ability to take this like wand, which is hilarious, your protector guide talking about like you having this ridiculous wizard hat, like a black cat and an owl, you know, like, I don't know, pointing this wand at things and saying, poof, you disappear. Poof, now you have spiders crawling on you. Poof, I've turned you into a frog. Poof this and poof that. And like, whatever it is, Alakazam, you know, it's like you become a magician. You become the magician. You do tarot. I don't know what the hell that means. In tarot, I guess it's like, speaks for itself a bit, right? Though the magician card, like you can create things, you can manifest things, you can manipulate things. And you are successfully, you may have wanted to do it in the past, but you couldn't actually carry through on it. You couldn't assert it. And now it's working. So you're almost becoming hooked, like addicted to having that wand and that power. And so anything that would have come in the past and bothered you is like poof. Now you're a frog. Like there's no more of you, right? And you're smiling. It's like you got the smirk and you know your power and you know your worth and you know you're never going back there. And so like you just keep getting more and more powerful until you become this like, I don't know, grand wizard or something. Whatever you want to do, I guess, with it. And it's really a time to celebrate. Okay. So they're showing the champagne glasses. It's time to celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself this weekend. Celebrate yourself this month. Celebrate yourself by treating yourself to something too. The word for you now is master and freedom. Okay. Words, master and freedom. So that's interesting. Okay. Thank you, Mairead. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? These messages are intriguing tonight. Edgar Velardes says, what message do they want me to know right now? Okay. General message for Edgar. What spirit is coming through? What do you have to say for Edgar? You have a lady coming through. I want to say grandmother, dad's side of the family. She's correcting me. No. I don't know why they do that. Mom's side of the family. Grandmother, mom's side of the family. Okay. Okay. talking about paternal energies. Okay, your paternal influence, the paternal line of your family influencing you. Okay, male influence on you as a whole. It's like you're examining that right now. You're supposed to be paying a little bit more attention to any, I don't know if I want to call it healing necessarily. My hair is frizzing out on me. Every minute it's getting bigger. I don't know if, this is heavy and shadow work and alchemy. I don't know that I want to go there with that as much as I'm just sort of observing and noticing and cherry picking on what I like about that influence on my life and leaving what I don't. Okay. It's almost like you're becoming the embodiment of how these influences had, an effect on you and how you might want to use the right ones in a positive way to influence others. It's like that, there's where the transmutation comes in, I guess. Okay. Because you're going to be giving more. You're going to be giving more to others. And you're doing it from, here's a better way to say this. You are about to influence many people's lives, many people as individuals and many groups of people. This could be family dynamics. This could be work group dynamics. This could be literal groups. Okay. And you are needing to understand at this point, at this place I'm hearing in your life, you're needing to understand how you're perceived. And you're needing to go from the masculine to the feminine. So when she came through dad's side of the family, showing the paternal line and this and that and the other, and shifted to mom's side, I didn't believe her. I was like, that can't be right. Why would you do that? Why would you even, what does that even mean? Right? Like it wasn't true. You may need to work more on convincing people that you are more in touch. Okay, I want to say more in touch with your feminine energy. And the only way to do that is to really do the work. So I don't feel like it's dark and heavy. Like I said, I don't feel like it's a bunch of shadow work and this and that and the other. But I do feel you need to look at the patriarchal line. Patriarchy, your literal paternal bloodline, these people, any influence there. And you need to say, what am I carrying that I should have like cherry picked? You know what I mean? I should have gotten rid of this. I shouldn't have carried that. Because some of it may be coming off to people as not very in touch and a little too maybe egocentric, but you also have people that are triggered by males. That's not your fault. You can't help that, but you can correct that. Okay. So know how you're seen. Audience awareness, understanding what it is to be a male. Okay. And when you're interacting with people, and leaning more into the feminine, not as a performative thing, but as an actual like self-discovery. Okay. Good. Okay. Thank you, Edgar. We're going to move on. And who do we have next? Nicole W says, what messages does Spirit have for me? Okay. So all of these, okay, generals. Wow. Nicole W. Who's coming through for Nicole? I feel like you've got a gentleman coming through who hangs out in your house quite a bit. I want to say grandfather energy, but he looks very young, like showing me a military picture. So it's like, this is what I look like. Pretty good, huh? It's like, it is pretty good. It is pretty good. Now he has a hat on. So this could be the Navy. No, the Marines. I don't know. Anyways, he's, I think the Marines. Okay, so he's talking about your house being a little bit haunted and how when he comes to visit and keeps an eye on you, he's not the only one there. And I find that a little curious. I think you have a couple things going on. I think you have a land, I don't call it an issue, okay? They were here first. Maybe we're the issue. But you got land activity, okay? So when you're on a piece of land that is like native, we've got train tracks, water nearby, woods, you've got an area not too far away that was like brothels. So we've got people who, died and gunfights and crazy business and mob activity. You got all kinds of stuff. Okay. The land is seeped with this sort of dynamic energy, totally different storylines. Then we've got the property. The property is active. And then you're a little active. Now, what I mean by that is that mediums, what we do is we create haunted houses. Wherever we move, it becomes a haunted house. We're the ones that are haunted. But every now and again, we end up in a space that is haunted, and then we ourselves are magnets for spirit, okay? And you end up in a living space that everyone else is side-eyeing, and it is Grand Central Station for the spirits. So he's coming through and he's recognizing I'm not the only one here. I feel like you've got some elemental activity too. So if you've been like, if your keys are getting moved, if Mal is missing, if your favorite lipstick or like your glasses, like if things are a little out of place, right? Pictures turning, things like this. You have some elemental activity. I also feel like your psychic ability and your mediumistic abilities are increasing. Now, he owns some of this because he was highly empathic. That's genetic. You're highly empathic. He was quite mediumistic. I don't feel like it's, he didn't give readings out there in the Navy, or anything, in the Marines or whatever. He wasn't out there with like a crystal ball, but he could have been. This is so in your bloodline that it's undeniable, and it may become intrusive where you're getting like a weird tinnitus, the ringing in the left ear, which is mediumship, and then the ringing in the right ear, which is your psychic ability activating, and you're just constantly receiving messages and activated. So it's almost like, what are you going to do with this? What do you want to do with this? So he's asking you. And he's pointing out that he's not the only one in the house. And he's just pointing out that you were really a magnet for all of this, as was he. And I feel like he comes to check in on you just to make sure lately that you're keeping your chin up and your eyes focused forward. Okay, on where you're headed, because it feels like you're heading in the right direction. You're making the right decisions, but you're not feeling it right now as much as you would like to be. Okay, so your feelings, I think, will catch up in time. Ton of love to you. Thank you, Nicole. We are going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Hello. Next up is Jess. Okay, Jess, a general spirit message for Jess. Jess, what spirit is here and what do you have to say to her? I heard be careful driving, which can mean that you're going too fast in life. Okay. Sorry for the weird camera angle on TikTok. It's like my hands look huge. This looks huge. The words are covering my face. I'm using a new thing tonight. Sorry. So Jess, the idea here that you need to slow your roll a little bit, okay, can mean that you are moving too fast without really being mindful. I'm not saying you're not thinking at all. I'm just saying that you are all about getting to where you want to be. You are all about activity. You're all about these conversations. What's next? Let's roll this into this. It's like it almost reminds me of scrolling on the phone. It's like, go, 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 or being on a dating app. It's like, no, no, no. You know, it's like, when do we slow down? When do we slow down and try to be a bit more present and process our thoughts and our feelings while we're in motion, and pay more attention to the bigger picture, pay more attention to what's around us, pay more attention to the signs and the symbols and the numbers and the birds and the spirit messages that are coming through, right? And how's my body? And do I need a cup of water? You know, like, where am I? Like, where am I in all of this? That's kind of how this feels to me. Okay. So this is a recommendation for you to slow down at least for the next 3 weeks, so that you aren't moving so quickly forward that your life is like a blur. And I feel like this is a pattern for you. Spirit's kind of calling you out on this, where you may go so fast, you may stop so infrequently, you may push so hard and reach points of burnout almost like regularly. I heard originally, okay, maybe even from the time you were like 13. And I had this peaking at like 23, 31. Is it? Okay. You may hit burnout like every 3 weeks or so. And that could look like a lot of different things, but it's the end of that cycle is what this needs to be. So learn to slow down. And I'm wondering a little bit if you're afraid of something. Sometimes when people move this fast, they're running away from something. Okay. So if you feel that you're uncomfortable with your thoughts, your feelings, things that come up for you when you slow down, whether it's talking to a therapist, or it's just doing self-help, or it's just learning to be comfortable in the discomfort through practice, okay, sitting with it, try to work on that, okay? So it's time. It's the end of a cycle. It's the end of a cycle. This is karmic for you. This is a big deal. Slow your roll, okay? And not talking as much would help. Now, that doesn't mean literally verbally talking. It could just be giving your attention to things. Pull back. Okay. This guy interviewed me once, and he said, "What's your favorite thing to do?" And I said, "Sit in a dark room and stare off at nothing." And he said, "That's incredible, incredible, incredible." I was like, "Yeah." Sounds nuts. Are we putting that in there? And I was like, "Yeah, that's amazing." And I think about him sometimes in his reaction. I was like, you know, that's kind of his job, interviewing me, is to, like, you know, pump me up. But I thought about that, and I was like, I think he did actually think that was incredible. And it is kind of incredible. You know, how often do we just sit there and allow ourselves to be a human being? It fixes everything. It answers everything. It helps you put everything together. It tells you everything you need to know, right? How often do we just sit there? You should be doing it every day. Anyways, all right, moving on. We're going to move on to the next one. Who do we have coming in next? Camilla Carnes. Any messages from, okay, Camilla Carnes. Any messages from my father, Bill? And let him know I got Howard doing well finally. That was his 26-year-old plant from my grandpa's funeral. Okay. Bill. Okay, Bill. Did she say that was her father? Okay, gotcha. Bill. Okay. He said, I know, I was killing it. I think he's just joking. I'm sure he wasn't trying to kill the plant. But I do feel like he messes with the plants. So whether this is like, them tipping over or just reminding you to do something. It's like I talk to the plants, the plants talk to you. I don't know too if you're doing more outside, whether it be with like gardening or growing tomatoes, okay, or like just more time outside. I feel like barefoot with the dog, you know, or just like barefoot on my own, or just like in the yard, or just like, you know, in nature. It's just sort of ceremonial almost. But he's with you. Okay, he's with you when you do that. I feel like he's also been with you when you go to bed. So if you've been hearing weird noises, and I don't know if you're going to bed like 9:30, you know, you're like going to bed real early. But he said he's been with you in the evenings. So if you've been hearing some weird stuff, and it's almost like, put this on mute. What the hell was that? You know, like, am I hearing things? It's like, it's him tapping, knocking, moving things, trying to get your attention in the lights, in the TV, in the volume, in the batteries, in the bulbs, okay, in the phone, in the computers flickering. He said he's been sending you some songs, uplifting. You are the wind beneath my wings. I don't know. I feel like he's joking. Is he a smart ass? What is you are the wind beneath? Is that the? I doubt this is the song you guys shared, but I do think he's a trip. Uplifting, like it works. I don't care how corny it is. You know what I mean? It's like that works. You know, like you do feel better. So he's sending you like wind beneath my wing type songs. He said they'll get cooler, they'll get better, but it does feel like you're in a period of time where maybe you need to hear that for the next couple months. So he said like 2 months of corny songs. But he is protecting you and lifting you up. A red rose, birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be a passing anniversary or a deep love. Take it out resonates. Sister, daughter, there's another female. We're having tension with the female, feeling like I wish things could be different, but they never seem to be. They just recycle. Same problems, same shit, different day. It's like, I don't know. You throw your hands up. I don't know. Okay? It's a boundary. No one is an extension to me. I can only do what I can do. Or you can lead a horse to water, or you can't force people. Okay? So any areas in your life where you're dealing with people who like won't listen, won't take it, won't step forward with you. Sometimes we get stuck dealing with people who don't really want to grow. And we're like, that's really the core issue. I'm a grower. Therefore, I want to see my relationships grow. And they're stuck. So you pull back. Talking about healing on your heart as well. And he's coming in with I want to say grandmother. Healing on your heart. You may be looking to be more of a healer, like you want to do energy work or more Reiki or more healing on people. So it's like you're kind of working with like Archangel Raphael energy, and you're healing yourself and you're healing them. And through healing them, you're healing yourself. Okay. So there's more healing coming out of you. And he's just joking about, it feels like grandpa also joking about the plant or the plants. I don't know if there were a couple other ones that came off of it, or you grew from the leaves or something, but it seems like other ones, maybe like 2 other ones. Just know they're coming in, being silly with you, I want to say, and uplifting. And dad says visiting in a dream 5 days out from now. But I am psychically feeling this tonight, maybe tomorrow. I'm feeling one. So there could be one now and another one in 5 days. Something about the money too. You need to be doing something different with your money, the investment with the money. He's going to be coming and helping you with that. So you'll be hearing from him about what to do, how to do it, when to do it, in what way to do it. Okay? Before you kind of like sign on the line, so to speak. All right. Thank you, Camilla. Thank you, Bill. We're going to move on. Who is next? Nicole Whitehead. Nicole Whitehead says, that's my grandpa Rex. Oh, is this feedback? She said, that's my grandpa Rex. I have a photo of him young. Oh, this was the hot guy from the Navy that we were talking to in spirit a minute ago. That's my grandpa Rex. I have a photo of him young in his Navy uniform. I feel spirit around me constantly. I just cleansed the house tonight. It's like I'm psychic or something. That's crazy. That's crazy business. Okay. Adorable. Love it. Thank you for the feedback. You have such a cute family. Next up is Black Cat. Okay. Oh, no, this is feedback too. This is just feedback from the last one. So she says, he is a smart ass. Yes. Wind beneath my wings. I sang in my middle school, in my middle school days. Okay. Have at it. Oh, the 80s. Gotta love them. All right. That's too funny. Jess is giving feedback also. So she said, thank you, Ivy. I do. I go on these work binges thinking that I can rest later. I know I need to chill. I lead so many things and I feel like people are depending on me. So I go, and crash. You really do. Every 3 weeks you crash. That was some crazy shit to see. You know, you can't do that for forever. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay. Because that does things to your cortisol. So, okay. Wow. Great confirmation. Thank you so much, everyone, for confirming. Love this. Too fun. Who else do we have? Do we have any more? Or are we at last call? Where are we with things? Just a reminder, does Super Chat count? I think Super Chat is like, I'm going to let you answer that, Diana, because I don't honestly even know what Super Chat is. I think it's just a way to pay. Black Cat said, I love that. Thank you. It's been a minute since I really felt his personality come through. Thank you. Yeah, he's a lot of fun. Absolutely. Thank you. And you guys, if you need to book a personal reading, okay, or if you want to just get a spirit message for yourself and not book a whole reading, it's up on my website. And maybe you want to gift this to someone else. So go onto my website, IvyRiveraPsychicMedium.com, click on spirit message or give it as a gift. Okay, do we have any other ones or are we doing last call? Next up is Zara. Okay, Zara says, will I get married and live overseas in the next 5 years? So there's not a specific spirit we're asking. We're just asking spirit in general. So let's go with your relationship guide. Okay, will I get married and move overseas in the next 5 years? Something comes up at 3 years here. So when I go over here with your relationship guide, your protector guide and your joy guide also come in. I don't love that. Okay. So when you are looking at a massive, massive entanglement, like a man-made government contract, a marital contract, locked in. When you are looking at a massive, massive undertaking, like moving overseas, okay, to a foreign land with a lover at that, you really need to be careful about what this means for your mental and emotional well-being in the long run. Because we don't need the money. We don't need the love partner. We don't need the marital contract. We don't need any of that crap compared to the way we need mental and emotional stability, peace, and a strong foundation in our life. These other things pale in comparison. Okay? So instead of looking at whether or not you're going to get married, move overseas, within this time frame, pay attention to the love partners that are coming in and ask those questions about your mental and emotional stability. And remember that the first mask falls off. There's new research on this, okay? Especially if you're in a heterosexual relationship. The first mask falls off at 6 months. The second mask falls off at 1.5 years. And who wants to guess when the third mask falls off? Between 3 and 3.5 years. And by that time, it's easy to be baby trapped or locked into a mortgage or stuck in a marital contract or cohabitating and having our finances intermingled and a million other things by that time. So we want to take it slow. Take it slow. Now that may be why 3 years comes up here for you, because it feels like you're not going to have an answer or clear understanding about where you are with any of this until 3 years out. Okay, so your answer will come in the third year. And that's because it's a free will answer. So marriage doesn't happen to people. It's not like destiny charted. It's against universal law. The universe doesn't support marriage, not marital contracts, like government involved, right? So that would be a choice that you make. That's up to your free will. So these things won't like happen to you. These will be decisions you can or cannot make, right? It's up to you. But I do think it will be an option at least 3 different times. Yeah, 100% if you want it, 100%. Japan comes up for you too. So definitely some significant overseas travel one way or another. I mean, that's just on a side note. Okay, thank you, Zara. We are going to move on. Who is next? We're going to do last call. So if you guys wanted to drop your donation, your question, or just receive a message, now is the last chance to do so. I forgot to tell you earlier, it's probably too late and irrelevant now, but if you need to post and ghost, that's not a problem. Okay, so you could drop your question, drop your donation, and watch the replay. It's going to post in about 24 hours exclusively on YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium with timestamps. So you guys can always go back and rewatch your readings or watch them for the first time. Okay. And okay. Anna Pekka is next. Okay. Anna Pekka says, does my grandmother Mary, thought that's a weird grandpa's name. Does my grandma Mary have any insight into if I should focus my social media content, okay, on alignment and intuitive connection in a general sense, or focus more on alignment in relationships? Well, you know, when I go over here with her, she makes me feel like my face is burning. And what that can mean is that you're getting a lot of messaging. Okay. You have a lot also to say, to display, but it's stuck. It's almost like it's stuck. It's not transmutable yet. It's not, is that even a word? What is that? It's like it can't transfer. It can't transfer yet. So it's stuck. Okay. This is what happens to my psychic mediumship students or my Reiki students when they haven't learned how to put it out. They get numbness, tingling in the mouth. Okay. The tongue, the hands, the feet. And Ezzy's coming over for this message. Hello. Hello. So what she's talking about here is that it's like stuck. It can't come out yet. Now, that can mean that you have more work to do on your own self and mastery in these areas before it can really hit, before it can land, before it can be received or be well received. It feels like the relationships and alignment in relationships part takes off a lot more than the alignment in intuitive connection, or however you said that. So the second one, but it's still stuck. So you may feel as though you're like learning as you go, but you've got a fair amount of tricks of the trade. She said 3 in particular that you are ready to discuss. But you need to concentrate. It needs to be concentrated, like orange juice. Now, the reference to orange juice is about immunity. It can also be about recovery. It can be about strength and power. So if you were thinking of speaking on those areas in regards to relationship alignment, including alignment to oneself so that you can have healthy relationships, that would make a lot of sense to a lot of people. In a way, she said, where they didn't know that's what they thought. They've never heard it said in that way. Okay, they didn't understand it entirely. What the hell was that noise? They didn't understand it entirely until you, it's the cat. Are you okay? I'm just going to hack up a hairball here. They didn't, are you okay? You poor baby. Goodness, mama. And they appreciate that. Okay. So they fully appreciate that. They're like, that's true. Holy shit, that's true. You know what? I never heard it said that way. Or you put it into words. That's what I've been thinking. That's what I've been feeling. And when people can, this is the power of language, right? This is the power of words. This is why like writing is so important. This is why speaking our truth. This is why sharing our experiences is part of every single individual's life contract. So you say it and they get it. And then they understand this is where I am on my own journey. This is really what it means. It's like comprehension, which is power to go forward. Okay. So I think one thing will roll into another. But again, you have to be realistic that sometimes when things aren't maybe landing the way you had hoped, is because there's still more for you to process on that thing. You're speaking on something, you're not ready. It's almost like you're not ready to be speaking on it yet. Okay. So, but this feels like a lot of fun too. Whereas the intuitive stuff feels a little heavier. This part feels fun for you. So a lot of hard work, but get that payoff. Okay. For sure. Meaning relationships are a lot of hard work and the things you figured out are gold. Okay. 3 of them, 3 key points. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Grandma Mary. We're going to move on. Who do we have next? Ayana says, any messages from my deceased loved ones, including my granddad, Thomas? Okay, Grandpa Thomas for Ayana. Any messages? You have a grandmother actually coming through mom's side of the family who's a little bit taller or leaner. She actually doesn't feel that lean to me, but she is... I want to say some of us are thick. You know, we're not big girls, but we're no skinny little twigs either, right? She's like that. And she's pouring a cup of tea for you. And she's talking about tea for two. And then your grandfather comes over. And so it's like, let's have a Mad Hatter's tea. Okay. So like some Alice in Wonderland references here. So I don't know if your life's feeling a little nutty right now. But it's an adventure. It's a discovery. Let's fall down that rabbit hole. Okay. Who knows where I'm going, but I'm going to have fun doing it. Cheshire Cat, these weird chubby twins. I don't know, Beeble and Bobble. Ow. Stop. Be nice. Be nice. Be loving. Where are we going? This is money. So pouring tea, okay, is symbolic of a couple things. Being present, processing what you're thinking and feeling and the experiences you're having. Processing more, you need to process more of what other people are thinking, including opponents. You know, one thing with Alice when she was in Wonderland was she would be looking at certain characters and be like, you seem whacked out. Like, you seem nuts. You seem crazy. Are you safe? Like, is this okay? Should I even be talking to you? Everyone here seems mad. Everyone here seems crazy. And then she like left it at that. And it was like, whatever, you know, and that's fine to do sometimes. But when you're going to be spending a lot of time with people and some of the people in your circle right now, we need to examine that a little further. How are they mad? How are they crazy? What does that mean if you're near them? What does that mean for you? So she's basically saying, who are you engaging with and how does their energy affect yours? Make sure it doesn't. Make sure it doesn't. They could be crazy. They could be as crazy as they want. Okay. But that can't affect you. This is money. Pouring the tea is about prosperity coming in as well. So it's not just being centered and being more present in your life and paying more attention to what other people's thoughts are, because you seem to have a resistance to that. Almost like you're afraid to go in there. And a suspicion. So I'm going to stay out of that. I'm just going to put on my rose-colored glasses, bury my head in the sand, and act like nothing's wrong. No. We're going to go into their head. We're going to figure out what's in there. We're going to figure out what their agenda is. We're going to figure out when that's going to happen. I'm going to have a way to respond to that. You know what I mean? It's like knowing you can outsmart people also if you need to. Okay? Because you can. But the money coming in is coming in through opportunities, 3 different opportunities brewing right around this time. This has been happening. So these could be like ideas that you have. And when he comes in here, so I want to say Grandpa, okay, just say Thomas. He said you're becoming a motivator, an activator, and almost like a neurotransmitter or some shit. I don't even know what that means. It's like you're, maybe channeling, but you're moving ahead. You're ready to move ahead, and there's no stopping you. Once you get started and you're serious, there's no stopping you. And it feels like you're getting very serious at this point in your life. He's talking about the next 2 weeks. So if you're making any changes to the way you do things, especially like work-related or social stuff, it's like the next 2 weeks. It's almost like you're a train leaving the station. This is very interesting. That was a little all over the place. Okay? Your family may be a little all over the place. You may be a little all over the place. But I don't think it's a bad thing. Take everything in wonderment. Okay? That's the biggest message here. They love you very much and take everything in wonderment. He is giving a red rose, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be a passing anniversary or a deep love. Take it out resonates. Thank you. Who else do we have? What else do we have? Next up is Edgar. Edgar says, today is the anniversary of the passing of my friend Louis. Does he have any messages for me? I went to visit his grave on Monday and definitely felt his presence. Okay. Louis for Edgar. Said he's been with you in the car. Something about a cooler in the car. I don't know if you started carrying a cooler in the car or if it's so hot where you are, you're like, I should do this, but I feel like it's a suggestion or you just were thinking it anyways. It almost feels like it's part of the car. So if that spot in the console, it's almost like if it were filled with ice and it were a cooler and I kept cool drinks in there, So anyways, I feel like you're keeping cool drinks and things in the car. You may spend a considerable amount of time in the vehicle. You may not want to, okay, but it's like making it more your home, okay? Making it more like a feeling of like I'm in touch with nature when I'm in the car. So that it does work that way. But he's with you in the car. He's putting songs on the radio for you in the car. He said that you guys had a lot of banter, like always funny, silly, always able to lift each other up out of a mood. He may have been willing to share with you more than he was with other people and vice versa. So you guys may have talked more on like an intimate level and maybe looked at other people and felt like other people were kind of unsafe or like they wouldn't get it or they would laugh at it or they would put it down or they would restrict in some way. And so there was a safe space there and you're appreciating that more now as you get older and as time goes on and you guys are appreciating that more now, okay, about your friendship, your relationship. He said it's almost like I'm helping you out in like romance or I'm watching over your love life. So it's like I'm sending you people, I'm sending you things, I'm sending you the right things. Something about a card. I don't know if somebody gave you this card, but it almost feels like whether it's like a birthday card or the writing. Okay, someone writing you. It's like I'm overseeing all of this, these little details. And I think the words are important. He's reminding you how important your words are, that your words are power and your words are important. And your words can melt someone's heart. Maybe you're writing a love letter. I mean, I don't know what you choose to do with this, but, you know, he'll be involved. There's also talk of life being like a roller coaster. Okay. And he said, it's almost like you're getting right to the top and then it's going to go down, and just know I'm with you. Okay. And I'm proud of you and I'm encouraging you. Just enjoy the ride, because right now it feels like you're just almost to the top. Once it starts going down, it's going to be fast. It's going to be furious. It's going to be like fluidity, everything you hoped and more. He said, everything you hoped and more, everything you've been working toward more. And he said, you were always like that. I don't know if you two played sports together. I don't know why I keep getting like soccer or some type of like, I don't know. I mean, it feels kind of athletic, whatever the heck the two of you are doing. I don't know where everyone else went, but it's like he said you were always like that. You could always really focus, right? And hone in on things and really get stuff done when you felt passionate about it. And he loves that part of your personality. Okay. But it feels like everything's going to be as amazing as you think it will. Everything you're visualizing, you're like, wow, won't life be freaking great? Yeah. Okay. And even better. Like, yeah. And more and more. Something about red sports car too. So I don't know if at some point you're like, oh, I'll know I made it when I have this red convertible or this red sports car that I want, or this specific like vehicle, you know, whatever it is. And it's like, even that. Okay. Thank you, Edgar. Thank you, Lewis. We're going to move on. Who do we have next? Ayana, this is feedback from Ayana. Nope, it's not feedback. It's another question. Is it? Yes, it is another question. Okay, so Ayana says, how and when will my mental and emotional health improve? How and when? I believe I have been going through postpartum depression. Okay. How and when? Okay, how and when? So let's call in your joy guide, who watches over your mental and emotional well-being, and let's call in your protector guide. I have your relationship guide stepping up here too. So if you are dealing with some, thank you, Diana, you could take that down. Thank you. So if you're dealing with some people, okay, you shouldn't be dealing with people who aren't entirely honest. They are not stable. They say one thing and do another. Maybe they're stable for a period of time and then they kind of fall apart. Just be careful, because you could be investing more, and this could just be conversation. You know, people minimize the significance of conversation. People minimize the power of responding to a text. People minimize how much energy is being drained when you're dealing with someone who wants to drain you, even without the words. Okay? Even just energetically, never minimize that. Never minimize that. Your words are sacred. Okay? Your energy should be guarded. So part of it is this. However, I can't prescribe or diagnose, but I think that it's just really important to stay up to date, whether you were talking to your doctor, the therapist, the psychiatrist about it, making sure you're staying up to date in regards to, you know, what they have as solutions for the postpartum, because it is serious and it doesn't always go away overnight. And it's progressive for you. So it's almost like you're going through stages, and sometimes it's bringing you back. So you could feel as though you're doing well for a couple of weeks, and then it's almost like I have a relapse, and you're trying to figure out why. All right. And I feel like without some outside direction, or at least you measuring it better than, because it's like you're not measuring it at all. Just like, hope it goes away. Hope it goes away. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, why don't we have a schedule and a journal and a daily right? Calendar where you're keeping track of how you're going and when you relapse and things like this. Where are the triggers? So I think that's necessary. And it feels like you could be really coming out of this in about a year, where you're feeling like you're more in control of your body and you're able to control your mind more easily. And the energy itself feels lighter. It's not as heavy. So you're not combating that all the time. Okay. Which is like a problem in itself. Yeah. So by that time, but there's more you're supposed to work with during that time. So it's not like a light switch. It just sort of shuts off, for you. But I think you're going to get there. And I do think you need to work on it more in measuring the details of it instead of just sort of dismissing it. I mean, women haven't gotten the studies that we need. We weren't even required to be included in medical studies until 1993. Not until 1993 were women even considered in any studies at all. It was all, white men. So, I mean, they don't know enough about this is what I'm saying, Ayana. So you're going to have to be your own caretaker, right? Your own researcher, your own doctor in it in a lot of ways. But yes, I do see you getting there. Okay. And that's how, and that's when I see the biggest breakthrough with it. Okay. At about 1 year out. All right. Thank you, Ayana. And we have another one coming in. What is it? Who is it for? Next up is Mella. Mella from TikTok. Mella says, should I let go the guy friend I have? We rarely speak right now. I don't have a name for this. See, that's tough because you got friends, you date. I mean, it's all over the place. You know what I mean? I got to make sure I'm going with the right person here, but I'll wing it. Okay. And I'm going to call in your relationship guide for this. She wants to know if she should get rid of, it's like, why? This person doesn't care whether you come or go. This person doesn't put in any effort at all. I actually feel like the only reason, and this may sound harsh, but it's a reality and a wake-up call you should be aware of so you could start detecting it with other people, because a lot of people do this. The only time this person ever reaches out, responds or really tries to speak to you is when they want their ego boost. So this is a person who needs to have their ego stroked, their cup filled. When they start to feel undesirable, they'll go to you, because it's a guarantee that you will give them the time, attention, affection, or make them feel good, make them feel right. I don't know what that means, but that's oddly specific. You make this person feel right. You make them feel like they're okay in their life. You're escapist. You're an escape for them. They're an escapist and an avoidant. And so when they got a lot of big feelings that they should be processing or taking to the therapist, they'll go to someone like you. And you make them feel right. This is the kind of person who would, if they can get anyone, they would stay in a relationship just because it creates a facade lifestyle for them, so that they can act right, so that they can seem normal out in society when actually all this darkness is brewing. But I have a relationship and this other person makes us look normal, makes me look normal. This is that type of person. The other thing that came up with it was something about you needing to look at why you're not demanding more meaningful connections with people. You're in alignment with these types of people because you entertain them. So why are you not, like your guide is asking you, why are you not demanding higher vibrational people? Okay, which will only come through you not entertaining people like this. So first red flag is the last red flag, but I feel like we have a whole collection of red flags here. Yeah, this person comes around when they need a high. For sure. Oh, okay. Thank you, Mela. I'm like melting. I'm afraid to even see what my makeup looks like. I get like lost in these readings. Mel Subi said, thank you so much, Ivy and Mom. Yes, today is my youngest granddaughter's birthday. There it is. Adorable. Okay. That's not horrible. Camilla said, will my dad's shop, okay, so this is another question. Camilla says, will my dad's shop sell soon, as in this year? And should we up the price? Okay, I don't have the name of the shop. Let's go with your work and money guide here. Should will it sell? I heard you're pushing it. You're pushing it by upping the price, but there is a nibble at about 4 months out from now. I would say between 4 and 6, maybe 7 months with a peaking point. So there's some transition there. Okay, we're in the 7th month out. Everything is looking different. So maybe it sells right about there, or between 4 and 6. And then in the 7th, you're free and clear. It could. Now, there's a lot of free will in my hands in the pot, so I can't give a 100% guarantee, but there is the possibility for this, without a doubt. And it feels like you're pushing your luck for a while, upping the price. But right in that sweet spot, we could. So maybe not immediately, but yes. Okay, and then I just heard make it reasonable. So, you know, what is within reason? What is within reason to increase? I keep seeing a 1 and a 3, you know, so by an extra, what, 13,000, 30,000? Like, what are you thinking? You know what I mean? Like, make it reasonable. Because it will go down a little bit. They're going to negotiate you back down a little bit. Okay. But ultimately, I have you being happy with it. And I see you settling at a 45. I think that what's going on here is that we have a couple key months where it's going to be seen and there's going to be activity on it, but it's really one key player that really wants to lock it down. And this could be like a male from out of state. And then the 8th month, the 9th month also comes up. So there could be another opportunity around there. And then I heard winter. Okay. So yeah, I think it's very possible. It depends on how you play your hand. And we just don't want to get too greedy. Okay. But it also doesn't feel like it's a time to, you know, like maybe we're not messing with the price right now, but we don't want to lowball ourselves. If you can go a little higher and it feels like you can, I think you should. Okay. It's a little bit of a gamble, but if it's almost this feeling of like, if somebody wants it, they'll buy it. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay. So why not? Thank you, Camilla. We're going to move on to another one. Who is next? Okay, we are at time. Did I got to everybody? Okay. All right, sounds good. So you guys, you're very welcome. You guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your continued support. Thank you so much for the hearts on TikTok. Remember, if you need to book a reading, a party, a healing, a psychic fair with me, go to IvyRiveraPsychicMedium.com. And if you want to get a spirit message for yourself privately or gift it to someone else, go onto my website and click on Spirit Message. Now, I have the registration open for Tuesday's class. Okay, Tuesday is relationships, boundaries, and cord cutting. So go get yourself registered, and you can attend online, okay, with the group, or you could just get the video download. So I hope to see you guys there for that. I think the next show we have coming up, what is the next show? Do you know, Diana? I have to make a new video and I have to actually see. Okay, but that's okay if you don't know. But, you know, please follow me on social media. I'm always posting what shows and classes and events are coming up. And also, we have a calendar now on the website. So for those of you that don't do a ton on social media, you can now go onto the website and just click on the calendar and see what's coming up. We're still in the process of filling it out, but that'll make it easier for some people. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Diana. Everybody have a great night. See you soon.